Oh, shit. We forgot how to pause the music. I did it.
Well done. Well done.
Tommy Gioco.
Hunter Hammonds. Welcome back to the show that will one day eventually sometime have a producer, but that day is not today.
That day's not today or the past several months.
Almost year. I think we're almost at our year anniversary after summer hiatus.
That's not how it works, brother. Not how it works. You know, if you're dating a lady, or let me change my thing here to be more progressive. If you get a partner and you and that partner stop seeing each other for a period of months, you got to restart. You don't get to count that gap in the middle as time. You know, you got to restart.
We had to find ourselves. We had to do some
And to go on
soul
a
searching.
spiritual journey.
And that we did, mind you. That we did.
One of us did. One of us did.
Well, you went to the woods. You were out there doing things in the woods.
I did go to the woods. I do that all the time though. I feel like I've been business as usual, granted a little different, little quieter, but I feel like you went on a spiritual journey, my good sir. And that's why we are here today.
Is that why we're here today?
We want to hear. Yeah, your hand has a tattoo now. You've been hanging out with Colin and Samir and our boys at Perplexity, Soren, Rid. You've been shooting films. Basically, here's how I'd say it. You were on track to have a successful career in big budget movies, and then you decided to drop out of those and go to film school. That's kind of what's happened. So let's learn.
It's true because I am broke as shit right now. So that's
meaningful.
It's a meaningful way to put it. Yeah,
Okay.
dude. I mean, we'll get into. I want to talk about a lot of things, man, because you have been quieter. I feel like people who are tuning in know what I've got going on. And in the meantime, you dropped one tweet in the last like 100 days. You're like, I'm working on a thing, and then you like deuced out. I had a daughter.
Yep.
That happened.
Yeah, you did. Yep.
She's building apps already. 2 months.
Hell yeah. Ours has started walking. It's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife FaceTimed me like 10 minutes ago.
You can't stop her from getting into everything.
Yeah. You can't stop her, man. It's unstoppable. Is this a special occasion or are we back? We're back. We're back.
Yeah. I mean, so
yeah.
do we call it a reboot or do we just say
we were on our summer hiatus? The weather's getting cold. We're in our offices. We're here. You know what I mean? We took a summer break. That's what it is. Yeah. Listen, all great shows have a gap in between to where the screenwriters got to get together, the production teams, the director, and they got to figure it out. That's what we did. Now, granted, Tommy and I have barely talked to each other in the past couple months because we've been busy. I haven't talked to anybody.
4 or 5 texts, I think we've exchanged. So this is like a live catch up. We genuinely are catching up here.
Yes, we are. We genuinely are catching up. We intentionally have avoided each other to make sure that we do this on camera.
For the content.
And it's going to be boring.
Super boring. The week has not been boring. Will be boring, per usual. And late, also per usual. Dude, how are you feeling right now? Like with how are we doing in our lives? How are you feeling about it's October? Tooling has just gone bonkers. I think you're using a bunch of stuff. You showed me some stuff. Yeah, like, how are you thinking, man?
Dude,
Bolts, Replit, V0 were like the talk of the town in January. Who's the talk of the town today?
Well, you know, listen, I want to be careful here, okay? Because we're back. And you know, this wonderful question from Ivan. Hunter, did you meditate? I didn't. But I kind of did in a way. I didn't sit down and do this, but I reflected a little bit. I'm sure Tommy did on what we like, what we don't like. Can I say this? Okay, here we go. I want to be honest with you people, okay? And I want to tell you my true thoughts about the things that I think are really good to build with and the things that I think are good to design with and things I think are not. I don't give a fuck about Replit or Bolt or Lovable or any of that. They make me so sleepy. There's no sponsored by Bolt thing in the corner. We're good to go. I love them. I think what they're building is great. But oh my God, dude, Claude Code, Codex, Droid. I mean, if you're not in the IDE, what are you even doing? You know, you're an amateur. That's how I feel.
I'm getting the same vibes, man. And the truth is, I mean, even with just the recent Sonnet 4.5, stuff is good. Like it's quite good for a lot of things. And I'm sure you did. I hit a wall on a lot of the tools too. I was like, okay, that's about as far as it'll go. And then I have some diminishing returns. I find it interesting, dude, because I feel like I'm prototyping out a bunch of apps with Claude Code, even Sonnet, and it's like, oh, people were asking me. I made a post the other day, and I was like, hey, here's kind of my new workflow right now. Figma was out. Figma's kind of back in because this MCP to Sonnet thing is working for me. Just heard about Playwright. We'll talk about it. But
Oh yeah.
but the thing is like I am designing actually. Like people are like, oh yeah, so like what was the end purpose of your Figma MCP to Claude Code? Does it work? And I was like, that's a weird question. Does it work? Because I feel like I'm not ready to say this works. I'm in the middle of like a week-long design session is what it feels like. I just happen to be doing it with Claude Code and I'm jumping into the IDE. And that was kind of an interesting thought.
I think it's fair. Yeah. I mean, I think it's fair. Man, I mean, it feels to me like the most powerful workflow you can have right now is Figma plus MCP, and then your chosen drug of choice. Whether you're a Sonnet 4.5 maximalist or you're getting into Codex or whatever it is. But that idea, the way I like to think about it is that the idea that I'm going to prompt my interface, or I'm going to do my interface and my code in one place, it just seems small-minded in a way. It's like, there's two completely different abstractions there that I think are too difficult to manage any complexity in together. You have to be able to think about them separately. Like, I don't want to think through crucial design problems by prompting. Like, I need that infinite canvas to think about that. And then I need that whole handoff process to say, hey, let's think about this. Let's think about the best ways to implement this and really deeply understand that and what I'm going to be doing, and then have my place to actually make that happen. And that MCP being the transit of the information between the two, I think is the way to do it.
Let's just crack into this. We'll get into the media stuff because there's something to talk about with media, but I want to show you this because,
Show me.
and I'm curious to see, dude, you teach me so much. Like you put me on to Context 7. Now I use it for everything. Playwright.
Bro, you got to go Exa. You got to go Exa now.
So I want to hear, we're going to talk about our updated stacks in a second because I got some tools that have come in and out. I want to hear what you're using. But I just want to show this real quick because this was surprising to me that the post popped off when I was sharing. I'm actually going to share my full screen because I got to bounce between a couple of screens here. But what I thought was pretty interesting was coming in here. So, Figma, it's like, all right, I've got the maybe first path, an idea of a layout of little Dungeons and Dragons app. It's like, okay,
dude, it's Spotify for D&D, and I love it.
Basically,
I'm all over it.
Basically, right? And just for fun, because I haven't been using Figma Make. I know Figma's got some interesting features they're rolling out. I'll get to the point you made about not wanting this all in the same tool. This is a one shot of it. It's hard for me to take Figma Make seriously right now. But this is interesting from like a prototyping. Like it seems like some of the functionality works here. At least the interactions do. But I go over to good friend Claude Code and I install the Figma, and I don't even know what the thing is here, but it's the MCP server. So I just kind of turn that on. And I don't know if anyone's using this right now. It sounds like you are, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And some people were like, oh, you can connect Claude Code to the MCP. And it's like, yeah. It's right here. And you can connect your different IDs to it. And it seems like the handshake is mostly stable. I've had some issues with it, but ultimately it puts together, exception there, puts together this app. So this is not a one shot by any means. I've spent a significant amount of time finessing this. It's really smooth, man. This works so
looks good,
well,
dude. Yeah.
And so like we go through these motions. We've got the Figma file. I come over here. I didn't design the table in Figma, but this table I designed with Claude Code. We spent probably a good half a day designing out this whole table, and there's a lot of little micro interactions. And it was like, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I want these to become our design components. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, hey, Claude, just like make me let's create a design system doc, an MD,
Uh-huh.
and then let's also put that into like a demo page. And
Hell
this
yeah.
becomes part of my updating of all of my docs. Whenever we make progress or whatever's going
Yep.
on, let's also update the design system, right? And this
Mm-hmm.
it seemed to blow people's minds. And for me, it was like this kind of just made sense, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let me find one of our good little tables here, or I don't know. I wanted to find a more interesting component, but I love this. I think this is fantastic. And suddenly, I want to say maybe 3 months ago, I personally was not super. I wasn't having a great time trying to get custom designs with AI development. I was having a hard
Mm-hmm.
time with it. And right now, it feels like, wait, I don't know if that's still a problem anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, man, it has its strengths and weaknesses, I would say, you know. I think for the most part, especially with Sonnet 4.5, you can one shot a lot of UI really easily. But I
Mhm.
do think that the more you stack on and your application grows or whatever it is you're doing, the more API routes and handlers and logic and all these things that you have, it'll kind of forget. But a few prompts here and there, and you're gonna get it back on track for the most part.
So what are you building, dude? Like what have you tried to do where you've hit some walls? Like how's that going, man?
Oh boy, yeah, dude. Honestly, I don't think walls exist anymore. I don't like, I don't think walls exist anymore. So we've been, and when I say we, I mean I largely have been, I mean, heads down building while everybody else runs the businesses for, I mean, shit, 4 months now. Just building stuff for ourselves. And it's just been crazy. I mean, the amount of complexity and the amount of depth that we can reach and the size of what we're doing has been pretty cool. So yeah, I think we can just nerd out on this the whole time if that's what people want to do. This is our welcome back show, people. We don't have an agenda for you. There's not 1,000 of you watching. There's like, I don't 50 of you watching right now. We can do whatever we want. This is
Hell
awesome.
yeah. I love that. And it is the comeback. And there's a lot of stuff that I've missed talking about. And it's weird, dude. I've been living in this world of media and while still dabbling like in a lot of different AI tools. There's a lot of tooling, I think, or opportunity for tooling in the like pre and post production of media. And I don't just mean video editing tools, right? Everyone talks about the video editing part, but there's like scripting and there's just like the whole production part of on location shoots. And I'm like, dude,
Hmm.
the software out here sucks for this. So one of the things it reminds me is when you get really deep into other hobbies, or other domains, just the ideas start to come out. You're like, oh, dude, I could automate this. I could build a thing for that.
100%. Yeah.
I'm loving it a lot. But let me walk you through a thing real quick here. So here's what I've been learning, man.
Show me. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So media. So we have what do we have this week? We had Sora 2 get announced, and
Hmm.
actually Hunter. I was just telling him about his office here. He's got the new plant back there. He's got yeah. What do we have over there, Hunter?
What do you mean? We
What's the
got
hat up top?
the hat. Oh, dude, these were for our fishing trip this year. We made a bunch of we had some custom stuff made for these trout laws. So that's courtesy of Peternol right there.
I love that.
Um, yeah, and then we got some books, man. That's about it. That's nothing. I have not spent any time on decor. I've just been locked in, dude.
Just got your winter arc cooking up.
Hell yeah, brother. I'm excited.
Um, Sora 2. And so
Mm,
have you seen these memes going around
I
already?
have. Uh-huh.
Yeah. What do you think about this Sora 2 shenanigans?
I watched the morning show with the wife, and we've been watching season 4, whatever season we're on. I don't remember. And right now they're at the part where like she's dealing with deep fakes, and I'm just like, oh, this is so timely with Sora being out. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about it. On one hand, it's incredible. On the other hand, it's like, this is scary. I kind of like that they introduced their own social network for it. So it's like, this is fake video, and fake video needs to live in its own place and not be mixed in with everything else. So I think it's just going to be the battle, dude. The battle of like, we're going to keep making AI generated images and video better, and we're going to have to keep a correlated rate of improvement of tools to detect that they're fake. It's weird.
Like it's pretty nuts, the level of fidelity, like looking at this video right now.
Yeah.
And I don't watch a lot of AI content because it's entertaining. I haven't found a lot. I think I found the Yeti guy and he quickly got duplicated. And then there's one other account I was watching on Instagram, and it's about a girl who's like going through this story arc in space. And it's all right. It's not that great, but I pay attention to them just to kind of see like, okay, these are people trying to push the limits. They'll give me at least some litmus test. I don't know that I was trying to think, are there people that I watch media from who could be replaced by AI and like I would be okay with that? And I don't think I don't know if that's true. Like even like a video essayist who's probably the most primed to get replaced with AI. And I think of someone like a guy named Dodford. He doesn't show his face at all on camera. It's voiceover and it's essays and it's, footage strung together. And even so, his process is so meticulous for that. Now, I'm somebody who appreciates the fact that it's his perspective and who he is. And I typically like to know who's behind the stuff I'm consuming. But I don't think that's true for everybody.
Yeah.
And also, if you go on Facebook, oh, there we go. If you go on Facebook, the number of people who fall for video being real, like they're like, oh man, that's real, and they start a big fight about it, but it's actually just an AI video, is pretty alarming.
Dude, it's wild. I mean, it's fascinating to me how AI, okay, this is such a like, man, I feel like I'm going to sound like such a cynic saying this, but maybe this is on brand. It's fascinating to me how AI is revealing to me how just stupid some people are. Like, it's like how you can't tell that's fake. Like you can't or like you think that random celebrity would do that particular thing and like it's blatantly caught on camera. Like it's just fascinating to me, like how gullible people are. And it terrifies me to watch the boomers just like suck from the teat of Facebook and just gobble up all the fake shit that, is being put in front of their algorithms. It's crazy to me.
Some people are definitely born at the wrong time, man. Like some people would have been so happy plucking potatoes from the dirt with their fingers.
Hell yeah, brother. I want to go pluck some potatoes from the dirt. Like get me back into nature, dude. Get me away from the computers.
Well, and so, people are like, hey, Sora doesn't feel like watching videos. This is Ben South. It feels like a window into an alt dimension. Yeah, I imagine that that's true. I don't have access myself yet. But I also like, man, that might be one step, again, leaning into what you said, not trying to be a cynic, but I don't know that I would love to just sit there on a feed and just doom scroll AI content.
I don't want to. Here's my ideal use case of AI content, and I think you're gonna come with me 100% on this. Okay, Tommy, this is something I'm about to learn about you in real time, and so is the audience. And I don't know which side of this you fall on. Are you or are you not a Hellraiser fan?
I am not a Hellraiser fan.
Okay. I finally watched the original 1987 Clive Barker Hellraiser for the first time yesterday while I was working. And I was sitting here half paying attention to it. And I was like, this is the dumbest fucking movie I've ever seen in my life. And then I Googled Hellraiser sucks and found wonderful Reddit threads just vehemently arguing this. And I'm thinking to myself the entire time, I'm like, okay, this whole concept of like the lament box and then like the Cenobites and like Pinhead, like these are amazing characters. Like this whole concept is sick. I want to live in a world to where I can sit for like 15 minutes on the shitter and just be like, You know what? I'm rewriting Hellraiser and I'm going to type that shit into Sora and it's going to give me a better version of the movie. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want. I want, like, the ending of season 8 of Game of Thrones. I'm going to rewrite that shit and I don't want fan fiction novels on Reddit. Like, I want to rewrite elements of shows and movies that piss me off and have it perfectly produced by Sora. That to me is awesome. Like, that's the use case that I'm after.
Oh, I don't know if I want that.
I want it, dude.
But
Could you
maybe.
imagine imagining a D&D campaign and you're like, guys, before we play tonight, I want to introduce you to the whole scene, the whole campaign that we're going to be playing, and the backstory, the lore, and it's a sick video.
That's pretty cool, actually. That would be sick to have. I don't know how much it take, like, if it was a short one, but like it would be cool to have a little intro moment into the lore of a D&D. I like that idea a lot, actually.
Did somebody just say med beds? Of course it was Devin Fountain. What is a med bed? This is amazing.
Is that going to be it's too easy to crop out those watermarks anyways, med beds. I don't know what a med bed is, but I do think this AI feed for media is getting close to just plugging into my Meta glasses.
Yeah. How do you feel about those? You didn't get a pair?
Still not loving the form factor, man.
I'm with you.
I would wear the hell out of a technology if the form factor was cool. I don't want to wear some ugly shit on my face.
Yeah. And like, I just don't want Meta's software, period.
You're big against it, huh?
It just doesn't integrate with anything other than like an Android device. And even then it's mediocre.
I just got an alert today and I signed up right before this show for the Alexa Plus early access.
Alexa Plus?
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, they made her voice hotter, I guess. That was a priority of theirs. On top of that, it sounds like it's smoother, like less latency, and it's faster to produce results. I haven't tested it at all. So I guess we'll find out. Med beds are going to be huge. Greatest beds you've ever seen.
For clarity, it's huge. Huge.
Hold on. I gotta look a med bed up here. What is this? What is a med bed? How do you search now? Perplexity? You're not on Perplexity.
Comet.
Right?
No, I am, dude. I'm a Perplexity main now, dude. Oh yeah. Dude, hey. I tweeted that I was ditching Dia right before they got acquired.
Yeah, dude. That's a whole thing. So the productivity tools have changed. Dude, Perplexity is, I think they're doing some things that are confusing to me. Like, they have such an offering that I'm like, dude, I don't know. I don't have use for all the things you do yet.
No.
I don't think. But they're doing a lot. They have the search API, which I think is a really interesting thing they released on top of all the like fun projects.
Yeah.
Their team, super cool. Got to go hang with them for a little bit. But I'm big on the Perplexity train, man.
Dude, my favorite thing is to be ordering something and then just like option A, like find me a discount code until you get one that works. Like, that's the best thing. It changes my life. Just being able to have Perplexity or Comet go and like save me money.
I have read a few ways people have done that, and it's been pretty interesting to see that. So
that's all you do. You just option A, like search for discount codes and try them until you get one that works. That's it. That's all you got to do.
Well, and I think someone made a post recently, and they were using one of the search features that can alert you. It'll do like daily queries for you. And it's like, hey, anytime you see they're doing like some Disney trip planning, anytime you see tickets at a certain rate, let me know right away. Same day, saved them like $500 on Disney tickets. And I was like, that's crazy, dude.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm loving a lot of that. The ideal AI video feed is just sipping lean and completely sober. There you go. Nice. Well done.
I mean, if you're like a early 2000s rapper, I guess. Like, you know.
So the project,
right, Lil Wayne.
The projects you have, are you still writing this week in design, today in design?
No. We haven't even published one in a while. We are getting ready to.
Where are you right now on your builder quest?
Can I just tell you straight up?
Please.
It's the beginning of Q4, which is historically bad for agencies. But off menu is at its peak of revenue for the year. Other businesses are chugging along. Everything kind of runs itself. And I literally just work like 10, 12 hours a day in code. That's it for the last 4 months.
That sounds fun, actually, man.
It's fucking great, dude.
From an office, you just sit in that office.
Dude, I haven't even opened it. My excuse is that the parking lot's not done, so it's just empty.
Hunter's
and it's literally
sitting in a giant office meant for 100 people by himself.
Yeah, I literally am. Like I almost want to show. Like I wish I could just like take my camera off and like take chat on a tour.
Actually, that would be dope if you did that one day.
Dude, I would, man. Oh, you know what? Hold up.
Maybe you can do the phone thing.
This is a reunion, bro. I can do whatever I want. Yeah. Like we're just, we're doing dress rehearsal and the internet's just watching.
I'm abandoning this little office room here.
You're going to the garage.
I'm going full garage studio, standing desk, the whole thing. What desk should I get? Steel lab, secret lab, steel case.
I am really partial to Ergon Office.
Yeah, Ergon Office? Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about them.
I have a dining table from West Elm, I think, as my desk, which is kind of a mess right now. But at home, I have Ergon Office, and then I gave Christian an Ergon Office desk. I love their stuff, man. It's expensive, but I love it.
Okay.
All right. Hold on. Let me see if this works. Are we ready? We're going to do this. Here we go.
Release Notes crib episode incoming.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Dude. Hey. Oh, this is great.
Here. Let me there we go. Let's give it a tour.
Hold on.
We're getting the Hunter office tour. One man with like 50 units in this. It hasn't been opened. He he moved into this office 4 or 5 months ago. It's still just him.
Well, we got Christian. We have our conference room that I never finished. We have Kit's studio, which are awesome. We got these. So people come in here and they book them. So we do that. But I haven't opened it in terms of like the private co-working. So it's just been me and Christian in here. We still haven't even finished this wall or gotten a rug. Dude, you're going to love this. So this is our FAR conference room. We're turning it into a workshop. So power tools on the wall, bench over here, like full workshop. Let's go this way. So this is 6,000 square feet, and there's 2 people in here 90% of the time.
Nice.
You like my several $1,000 light fixture?
I believe you when you say that, just so you know.
Yeah. And then this is the view.
Yeah. Have you sat in all the chairs in that office?
No.
What are you even doing?
I don't know, man. Ask me how many times I've sat on this couch.
You've not sat one time?
I've sat on it like 3 times.
Yeah. Is it not comfy? It's just for show?
Just for show.
And then here we go. The king's throne. Oh boy.
I got to figure out how to leave.
Well, I can turn it off.
Kick me off.
Boom. There he is. Your audio's muted now. This looks like Figma HQ and SF a bit.
All right, that was it. That was real script. Oh, wait. I instituted an office slipper rule because you're still doing construction, so you track dust in. These bad bitches. You see those?
You implemented a rule for you.
Yeah. Dude, I gave my kids so much shit for Crocs, and then I bought these as my office slippers. Oh my God, these are the most comfortable things I've ever seen in my life.
That tracks. You're about that age now. That tracks.
I'm so old, dude.
Well, good, man. I'm glad the office is being kept warm. You got a cold winter coming up. A lot of grinding. A lot of apps have been built in that seat, huh?
Oh yeah.
Do you stock the fridge regularly, or is that automatically stocked? Is there a
Everything's
service
stocked,
that
yeah.
does that?
No, we do it. We stock it. Yeah.
Probably
You
a
think
service.
I'm gonna let like my Diet Coke addiction lapse? Come on.
I just figured there'd be a service for it, man. You know,
Yeah.
Diet Coke service. Crocs with the Air Pro Max. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, dude.
that's Hunter. That's what he's
Fuck yeah.
doing.
Why is
Yeah,
it so
so-
dirty? It's not dirty, Adrian. How dare you? What are you talking about?
Have you ever been on a film set of any capacity? Imagine that's once in your life.
My porn career, yeah.
Yeah. You had a illustrious porn career.
I was a fluffer.
It's a wild little thing, man. Putting those shows together, and we had a. Let me run through this, and I've talked. I share this ad nauseum on the internet, so I feel like people have probably heard these stories, but I'll pull this up, and I'll just tell you. Here's essentially what I've been doing. Let's be totally honest with it. I have been just blowing money trying to create something interesting and with no financial real plan attached to the end of that, knowing that when it was created, then I'd have something to maybe shop around. But I don't think that's the right way to do it, and I feel the pain of that. But I will tell you, man, it has allowed me to do some pretty cool things. So at the very least, we got some really great experiences out of it, and it has shaped how I think about AI, which is interesting. It has shaped how I think about my priorities as a business person and as somebody who's trying to create stuff. So, the Perplexity team, what was really cool there was to see just like the way they use AI, just no boundaries. They just kind of fuss around and find out. They test tools out, a lot of human skill. There's some designers on that team, and I love this. I'm a sucker for this, who have zero presence on social media. And they're just fucking cracked, man. And I'm like, that's so cool. There's like a weird correlation, I feel like, with that sometimes. But I loved this one. This shoot was the biggest shoot of my life. Right? I go into this thing and I'm like, oh my God, it's San Francisco. Like I'm here in the building. Like it just felt higher visibility. We had our boy Soleo join us near the end for a little roundtable chat. It was a cool thing. And it was also kind of my first real solo directorial debut. Like we had to do a lot of stuff there. Crates, let's go. Sitio
Dude,
crate.
Devin, like sometimes Devin annoys me and I want to slap him, and then the other times I'm like, this is like a soulmate level of connection right here.
What
Hell
is
yeah,
that?
Devin.
What is Sitio crates?
It is an incredibly overexpensive ass milk crate for storing stuff, and they are the best damn things in the world.
Okay. The deep cuts on the crate.
Yeah, dude, they're great. If you like to get organized, man. Anyways, back to your Perplexity story before Devin rudely interrupted.
Well, just the experiences, and then the crazy thing, dude. We come home from Perplexity. It's San Francisco. We get back in about a week's time. I'm heading out to Kalamazoo, Michigan, to go hang out with Rid. But then I see that Colin and Samir are hosting their first kind of own summit for creators. It's invite only. It's a bunch of the who's who. It's a cool thing, right? And I was like, hey, let's make a video. Hey, can we follow you with the camera? I totally did not expect it. And after I sent the video, this is a problem I have. I shoot and then I think, I'm like, oh wait, should I have done that? Because if they say yes, it's probably going to cost this, and I got to figure these things out. And am I prepared for that? And I just kind of like figure it out. Well, they said yes. In like an hour, we got a DM. Within 24 hours, we had to coordinate getting the crew out there and this whole thing. And it was a nightmare. Colin and Samir were wonderful. Those dudes are so cool. And it was very, very generous just to even allow us to be there. I will say this. This was not fun. This was not a fun shoot. This was hectic as hell. I felt like I just came off my biggest shoot of my life and immediately got thrown into the biggest shoot of my life by like a factor of 4. And I think this turned out really good. but it was excruciatingly painful. We followed them around New York City, like on the go. All location shoots we've done have been pretty static. They've been easy to predict. This was their schedule. Their schedule was changing by the hour. It was pure chaos. We were on like 2 hours of sleep. We go to this yacht. They give this speech. This is the Virgin thing. Richard Branson shows up. He's old as hell, and he's just chugging champagne. And then we leave the next day, and we're just meeting so many random people, guests. We're trying to figure out what's the storyline here. One of my editors, who's been with me since almost like 3 years now. This guy is so sick, Burnaby. And he wasn't going to come on this trip. And I was like, nah, dude, you have to come on this trip. And so he comes to help us out with a few things. I had met him in a Colin and Samir Discord group. Well, Casey Neistat comes out. And I want to say hi to Casey so bad, because that's cool. I've always been super inspired by him. But I thought about it, and I was like, I got a split second. He's busy. And I was like, the truth is, man, Casey would fucking hate everything I've produced to date. This show and the shows I'm producing, different story. All the short form and everything else, he doesn't want to meet me. And so I was like, hey, Casey, let me introduce you to somebody who's dope. And that was Burnaby. And we caught this moment on camera. And I told myself, because I was 2 hours of sleep every night, if this thing crashed and burned, I was stoked that this happened. This was cool,
Yeah.
We leave New York City. I just stopped by. Apparently everybody's in New York. Weber Wong, CEO of Flora Fauna, he was in the same building we were shooting at, and he's like, Tommy. And I was like, what the hell? So we just go upstairs and hung out for a moment. But New York City, pretty cool place, especially Brooklyn. Then we go hang out with Rid, Kalamazoo. What was cool about this was coming from San Francisco and then bouncing over to New York City. It was frantic. And then we get into the Midwest, man. And it is like calm. It is small town, population like 70,000, right?
Yeah.
And it was so needed. And it was like the day after New York City. Our backs are hurting. And Rid is just a dude, man. He's just
chilling.
He's talented as all hell. Used to be a D1 quarterback. Didn't know that. Guy.
What?
Yeah. Got taught by who's the pitcher, or who's the baseball player? Mark freaking. You
do realize quarterbacks and baseball are two different things, right?
No, I'm saying, but he was taught, like he came up as an athlete, like the dude.
Yeah.
And so we were out there playing basketball, throwing the football around, and then watching him build. It was cool, man. That really, like, Rid's such a dope dude. It's not an act. And when you see the people he surrounds himself with, his family, it's one of those things where you're like, oh, I get why.
Dude, I have been asking Red for like 2 years now if I can come hunt in his backyard, and he keeps telling me no. And so
there were a lot of there were fox, there were deer.
Dude, I'm saying, let me at him, Red. Let me at him.
His house does look insane. It was a spaceship. It's like a spaceship landed in the middle of Michigan, is what it looks like.
It's wild, dude.
Yeah, and so we come back, man. We come back from the show, and I take a week to just decompress, to like collect myself. By the way, I had to leave for the New York shoot on my wife's birthday. We're 6 weeks into having our newborn daughter, and she's like, you have to go. And so I'm out there. She's writing me like cute notes. I've got some stuff. Like I pull out a note. Totally didn't know she like snuck this thing in. It broke me. Just like having support, It was crazy, man. It was crazy putting all this together. So this show's like hella delayed. We've had a lot of production things that we've learned about. Not the crew we're working with, and everybody on the team is fantastic. Mm-hmm. I'm the bottleneck. I'm the one looking at the footage. We put these structures together, and then I'm writing. I'm like, okay, here's how it's gonna be. And there was this question of like state of play. We released a couple episodes of the podcast, and then it was like, wait a second, like the writing is becoming the bottleneck. But I don't want to use AI for writing anymore. I was using AI to write the UX Tools newsletter for a couple of moments, and I don't like that, man. Like I'm curating and sourcing like news items is dope, but like things for like, these are my insights. Like these are what I believe. I don't like AI writing that shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I've come to find. But
yeah, is that what you asked me if we're still writing?
Yeah, I was curious.
Oh yeah, okay. I see. I'm with you, dude. I think that my biggest takeaway of everything you just said is that Courtney's a badass for putting up with you.
Yes.
B, I'm very glad to hear that you spent probably like $100,000 just to introduce Burnaby to Casey Neistat.
It was not $100,000, but goddamn, it was like 70.
There we go, close enough. Round up, baby. Man, I'm excited. When are the videos going to start to get released?
We're aiming for Soren's. So we have all of them basically like making progress right now. Some are damn near done. Soren's episode, ideally 2 weeks from now. And then we're going to try to do 3 weeks release schedule every 3 weeks.
And sorry, bud, go ahead.
Yeah. What does success look like?
Yeah. I want to know.
There's a couple metrics in here. One that's not tied to money, and there is a money metric, is I want to create something that my kids watch all the way through. And they did. They watched the Soren episode and unprompted sat through the whole episode. And I was like, that's big. That's a big deal to me.
Yeah, it's great
because it means I packaged this thing that's important to me in a way that was consumable to them. And so that's big. The other piece is I want this show to get me really great guests for season 2. And I have a list of people who, a couple of them have already said interested, and one of them's booked. So it's like, hey, that's interesting.
You're gonna give us the sauce?
I'll tell you in a second. So I mean, like I would love to go. This is the kind of crazy idea I have, but it's like I want to go learn Japanese and follow Hideo Kojima around for a couple of days as he produces one of his games.
Okay.
There's like Critical Role people that inspire me. How Critical.
Did you play
Role
Death Stranding 2?
I did. I didn't finish it.
Okay.
I didn't have time, but I am a Death Stranding fan. I bought the whole collector's kit. What else? There's a couple of the design folks inside of that. So Smith and Diction, which by the way, you want to talk about people who have a dope office? Smith and Diction, Mike Smith, I was talking with him. So we're filming with them in February. They're in a school, dude. They're in an old timey school, like with like the old hallways, the Stranger Things hallways, and every school office is a business. And I was like, that's sick, dude. And his whole, like, they're out in Philly. It's going to have such a good backdrop of shots,
Yeah.
But ultimately the show needs to move away from just being design. I want it to be creatives. People
Interesting.
That's the thing. Whereas State of Play stays in industry. Monetarily. So monetarily, I want to grab, I mean, this is how I've been thinking about media and sponsorships, advertising, really. We're talking about advertising now. Is I've got all these IP. We need to lock in probably another like 150 to 200K this quarter in ad rev. And so the way we are trying to do that is to package multiple IP, like not say, hey, come mid-roll YouTube, for 3 months, or come, we'll do short form video or like a UX Tools newsletter. No, it's like, hey, we have all these things going on and we'll get you here, we'll get you there, we'll get you, that's kind of how we are treating those relationships. So that's like the monetary goal. I do want views. I want views to do well. I think between State of Play and This Is Taste, those are the kinds of IP that won't go viral day one. But I do think there'll be something that, like, when you see the channel coming to life over maybe over a quarter or two, you'll be like, oh, I see what this is about.
I dig that.
But I mean, like, listen, the name of the game, like any kind of filmmaking venture, is like you have to fund it. And so we did the UX Tools bundle, right? Which, have you used N8N for anything? It's like,
no.
You know what it is, right?
Yep.
Yeah, just hopped up on, Zapier hopped up on AI and all kinds of additional things. I like it. I used it for the UX Tools bundle, which was a tricky thing because we had all these promo codes and we had 1,000 promo codes that we had to distribute individually, for every tool. So we had 10,000 promo codes. Anyway, we had 1,000 of those.
Promo codes.
Yeah, we had 1,000 in the bundle. We only sold 50%. So that was kind of a big like L, which was crazy. It's interesting to think why. Yeah. The impressions across the internet, which I took track of from everyone who shared it, were significant. So at least like we can go to the partners and say, hey, this looks pretty good here. I do I do wish we were able to sell 1,000 of those, though. You know what I mean?
It's so interesting that you say that, because I keep reading more and more about the idea that software is solved, you know, that all these engineers and like great coders are now ditching, you know, your typical Fing style companies or startups, and are going to be like, how do I get involved in like robotics or like rocketry or self-driving cars or things like that? So it's interesting that you have this bundle of software that only sold 50% of like decently well-known tools, like our friends at Paper, for example. It's like, I would expect Paper to be blowing up, but people are kind of like, meh. You know, it seems like the reaction hasn't been that market heavy. I don't know. I just wonder if there's a trend there.
Well, and you look at these productivity tools and you see Sky, who I've heard I've heard high praise for Sky. I've not used it myself. I've seen it in action.
What is it?
Good. Sky, the former Apple folk who created we got fire alarms going on.
Oh, it's the thing that lives on your desktop.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, are you still rocking Raycast?
But like, I don't. Maybe need Raycast to show me some tips and tricks. Like, I use Raycast as my Spotlight replacement, and I use Raycast in order to make my life easy with hyperkeys. But that's it. Like, typically my usage of Raycast is just a quick conversion or something. I'm not using Raycast to chat with AI. I find most of the Raycast integrations are worse than just using the product. Like, for example, like Raycast linear integration, like it's faster for me to just hit caps lock L, so hyperkey L, open linear, and then just do what I need to do, right? I use MCPs more than anything, for sure.
Give me your technical stack here, your MCPs that you rely on. I feel like we know the top level tools, and I've talked about mine, but I want to know from you, like, what are you finding that you can't live without right now?
I'll show you, yeah, and then I'll explain why I keep it as short as possible. Let me show you. I'll just share my screen. Hold on. Let's get in here. Woo, baby! All right, let me just clear this stuff out, just that way we don't like over inundate ourselves with nonsense here. All right, so we're gonna get right into this.
I hate that you're a high contrast guy. I just got to call it out right now. I think it's bullshit.
I am and I am not. It depends. In Warp, I like it that way.
Do you like Warp?
Dude, I fucking live in Warp. I've used Warp more than any application for sure. Other than like Warp and Comet are my two most used. But yeah, let's do CC. So we'll just open Claude Code with a default permission setting here. And I'm going to show you this. So we'll do MCP. This is actually a bug in Claude Code, which is funny. It like caches things. So the only MCP servers that I'm running right now are Exa, Figma Remote, not the local, Linear, and then Supabase. Just keep my life easy. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Do you know that even before you use MCP servers, when you spin up Claude Code, they're eating into your tokens?
I did not know that.
All right, so watch this, /status, okay? And what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to usage, okay? Well, actually, let's do context, we'll do that.
I'm doing this along with you right now, by the way.
Yeah, so /context, and when you do this, so you can see that we just opened this instance with Claude Code 4.5 Sonnet, and we haven't done anything. And we've already used 31% of our context.
What?
Yeah. Because of the MCPs. So I keep this as like trimmed down as possible because you're eating into your MCPs. You're eating into your context, and context is gold. So you can see here that blue designates MCP tools. We've used 45,000 tokens and or 22%. And then memory files. actually like loading Claude.md and other instructions and things that I have. That's just 2 little tiny things in my bar here, 2 little guys. But the rest of this is MCP. So when I start this session, I'm already like I only have 70% left of context. So that's something that you have to be mindful of. And then typically what I do is I'm going to Claude code in one, I'm going to codex in another. And then I'm going to do another, and I'm going to have my local server, or I've been getting deeper and deeper into experimenting with droids, but not going to like dive too deep into that right now. But that'd be my average. So Exa to replace Context 7, Figma to fetch designs. I'll turn it off if I'm not going to be needing to do any like fetching from Figma. And I'll also turn linear off if I'm not going to be integrating with linear.
So, because what I notice right now is, at least with my workflow, like starting point from Figma is what I'll do. Is I'll start to, have my design in Figma, and then I'll like Figma MCP that. But then after that, a lot of what I'm doing is like correcting AI occasionally. Like, hey, here's a screenshot of how this looks right now, and here's where it's messed up. And it's like, man, I wish I had a quick way to do the screenshots. Is Playwright my answer to that?
So Cursor can do it natively now.
Nice.
In the new version of Cursor. I will say that it's kind of funny. I don't really ever use Cursor. But at the same time, I always have it open because
Like
I do.
It's your editor for manual entry, and then
It's my
occasionally-
IDE. Yeah, it's my IDE. But I'm not prompting in Cursor.
Same.
But I'm tempted to say that using Sonnet 4.5 in Cursor with the Figma MCP is probably the best way to do UI work. Better than the IDE itself.
You have open Codex and did you have Gemini?
I don't really fuck with Gemini too much.
Why did you have Codex open?
So I typically I use Git work trees. So for those of us that aren't full on crazy nerds, the way Git works is that if you're working on one branch, you really can't go work on another in your own local environment. So Git work trees allows you to essentially clone your main branch, for example, and split it into different directories. So I could have like feature A, feature B, bug fixes, right? And I can CD in and out of those at will, and then I can have different branches for each of those. That might sound cool to our vibe coders out there, but I do want to warn you that Git work trees is not compatible with the Git desktop app. So you have to do everything via the Git CLI, which is complex. Even to have like AI do it for you, if you're not really careful, you can get lost quickly.
That seems like something that would benefit from having an interface where you could see visually.
Hugely. Yeah. Hugely. Yeah. And I think there's probably something to be said there about like writing your own droid or like Claude agent to essentially like create a kind of UI for you inside of the IDE to better understand what's going on with your work trees. But I'll typically have Codex working on something complex while I'm doing smaller things with Sonnet 4.5. Previously like Opus 4.1, but now Sonnet 4.5.
So you are also using warp.dev.
Yep.
Exclusively. What are you using warp.dev for?
As my terminal.
Oh, I need to install this. I have not used this. I only recently heard about this.
It's the best, dude. It's the best terminal replacement by far. And it also has its own like agentic like editing interface. And so I will use their AI features to like navigate work trees, things like that. But I use it as my terminal replacement. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you were saying like, what's the first handful of apps I'm opening each day? I'm going to open Comet, Warp, and Cursor.
Yeah, Comet getting love, Warp, and then Cursor being open. Interesting, man. I love that. And I find myself using a lot of, I'm obviously doing a lot of video stuff, and there's a whole bunch of need there. I would love to see those tools start to get better. Not so much like, hey, I want to prompt video. I want to manage my video production process better. Dude, when you're dealing with like transferring terabytes of data across a remote team and like there's all kinds of different things with the footage that has to, man, it is a lot of little unique problems inside of that.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I like your stack here. Now, you said you're not using a lot of tools. You're not using like what apps are you on? You're not even using social media anymore. Who are you?
I don't use anything, dude.
Who are you?
I mean, let's see. Comet, Messages, Slack, Superhuman, Warp, Cursor, Things, Linear, Figma, ChatGPT, Music, GitHub. That's it.
Okay. All right.
That's it, man. I'm not using any apps. I mean, Recast is obviously on in the background, chilling. Yeah, I don't use anything, dude. Kindle. I use the shit out of Kindle.
What are you reading right now?
I'm finally getting around to reading the Mistborn series. I'm on book 3 and I'm kind of bored.
Yeah.
I'm in the first like 25%. I'm going to finish it, but slightly bored.
Okay.
You know.
Well, one day and maybe someday soon, you know what we need to do? We need to have a hunter session, dissect some workflows. I feel like there's some knowledge up there I'd like to tap into from you, man. Just watching you work right now and doing it alongside you, I learn a lot from you.
I appreciate
on how to
that.
code this stuff. I really do. Like, I mean, just like little things. I'm like, oh yeah, like. And what's cool is I don't need a lot of context. Like you start showing me some stuff, I'm like, oh, pull that in. I feel like the folks here would love to see that. And the other side of it, you once said agencies are dying. Tommy uploads one Loom video. I'm in film now. It's true. It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking love that. Devin, who just got married not long ago. Congratulations, sir.
Congrats, Devin. I didn't know.
Love to hear it.
Mazel tov.
Yeah. But on top of that, yeah, man, I'd love to do some housekeeping with you. I have to tell Hunter something here.
Tell me.
Which was, there was a day where Hunter and I were deciding, hey, do we do a media thing together? Do we keep projects separate? Well, I told him, I said, hey, I'm about to go do this whole thing and I want to do it a certain way. I want to dump more money than I know he would ever be okay with on it to get Burnaby to meet Casey Neistat. And the hope was, I think by this time of the year, to be having a little bit of ROI on that, though that wasn't my pursuit right away. It's like, let's get this out and then pursue the ROI. Well, I am here to tell you, Hunter, that I have not captured that ROI. That ROI is nowhere to be seen. And I feel like one day I'd love your advice on how would you handle this media company. I'm going to disagree with probably 70% of it, but your takes are quite good.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that sometime. I'll tell you this. I'm very, man, I would say that the past couple of months, if you spend any time on Twitter, all you see is the hype around AI. Yeah. Right. Like, we kind of talked about it at the same thing earlier. And, it's like, okay, it was all this lovable stuff and Bolt and Replit. And then it was, Claude Code, which it still is. And then, now it's droids and it's just like, oh, Dario Amodai is saying like, in 6 months, AI is going to be writing 90% of the code, etc. And it's easy to get lost in that hype and spin up a $20 a month subscription for like Bolt, for example, and vibe code something and be like, oh, this is really cool. This is the future. And then get frustrated and take it nowhere. And so I found myself doing that where it's like, I have these ideas. Let me like dive in. And then I'd get frustrated and I'd stop because it wasn't something that I needed enough. And so I said, okay, look, if I was going to rebuild an agency, if I was going to rebuild Off Mindy, for example, and say, how do we build this in a way that like requires none of my time? Like if the team wasn't going to be using Slack, if we weren't going to have all these manual processes and approvals and reviews and all this stuff, what would that look like? And so that's what we set out to build. And that's Control Tower. We're going to release it soon, I think. But we built it for ourselves, and it's not easy. It's very, very complex. It does a lot of really powerful stuff. It's fucking sick. And there's nothing like it, I don't think. And so to do that, I wanted to tackle something that was really, really complex, like really, really fucking complex in terms of an engineering standpoint, and build all the, I guess, like worldview and workflows and all these things around that, and say, okay, once we're done with this and we've proven to ourselves that, like, yes, we can do this, now we like understand these things at the most like atomic level, what do we then do? And so we're kind of at the end of that process now. I know that this is like word vomit, but the outcome of that has been that I think there's going to be some really interesting things to happen with software still, with personalized software. I don't think the average person is going to be building software. I just don't. You know, even if you can prompt something into it and get something really cool, that's great. But once you start, like, I mean, any developer knows, like, once you build something and you have like RLS policies, for example, or like migrations or like anything like that, changing those features is very difficult and it requires a lot of context, a lot of moving parts, and AI just doesn't have it. And I think we're a long way away from it being able to do it. So you still need people that can work with AI and really clearly articulate what they want, and they need to know how this thing functions. Like, if something isn't working, you can't just be like, oh my God, screenshot this error and fix it. You have to instruct the AI, like, hey, go read this file. This is likely what's wrong, but I want you to confirm, maybe add some debugging, and then let's work through it, right? That is something that I think is going to be one of the most valuable skill sets, period. I did, thank you. And I want to teach people how to do that. I don't think there's any good media that exists that takes people into the actual process of how to do it. That's not like trying to sell you a course or just trying to hype up something with some stupid fucking Twitter thread. I think that's missing from media. And I think the combination of like entertaining and educating at the same time is everything. And so I want to build that, and I want to use that as a distribution engine and not have any sponsors. That's my philosophy right now. That's my outlook on the world.
Well, I would watch the heck out of something like that if you had good consumable content that I actually like. I could listen and watch while building. It seems like it fits such a good sweet spot.
I think so.
Yeah.
I want to do it, man.
Well, hell yeah. I don't remember what question I said or asked that prompted that answer, but that was that got me motivated in thinking about the rest of this year. How are you finding talent, dude? So you agencies are dead was a sentiment of sorts that was shared from your corner at the beginning of the year, or that agency work was changing quite a bit.
Agency work was changing quite a bit. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We are rolling something out soon. I don't know why I'm coughing all of a sudden. But yeah, man, I think there's always a cycle to where the service industry gets access to some new tool, or something changes the way services are billed or perceived. Like, you just saw that Accenture laid off 11,000 people, which is huge. So to me, I think that any agency or service business that's selling software development, there's no client that's not going to be wondering, is AI just building this? Right? So everything moves to a model, I think, where it's very transparent and customers need to know, like, this is exactly what I'm paying for. I'm not paying for something that's, opaque. Yeah, I'm not paying for something opaque that's like, hey, this is a month of your time, but very specifically, I'm paying for this exact thing. Like, this feature is going to cost me this much money, right? And so we are rolling out something pretty interesting there. before the end of the year, probably. We're already doing it. We've already moved our clients to it. We're selling it actively, but we're going to make it public pretty soon. Not that that's like, industry defining or anything like that, but it's where we think things are going, and it's what we think is like the most honest representation of how to work with our customers.
One of the things you had said was that you were finding. I've seen a couple of posts from you recently. The ones you have made were like, "Hey, we're hiring folks for a project, for a thing."
Yep.
You were also somebody who's like, I don't know that I need to hire any more people, but here you are. So where do you stand?
No, we have no full-time employees.
It's all per project.
It starts per project, and then what we do is we basically have
Have a
retainers with a handful of freelancers that we really really like, and so you could make an argument that they are full-time, but they're not. So that's kind of been our go-to, is to just have the right people and put them on the right projects. Yeah.
I love that. And I've been enjoying working with a lot of different folks. I find a lot of talent. I want to give a quick shout out actually, because we're talking about like software and how a lot of software, it's been built. There's a lot of tools. It's like, what's the differentiator? I don't know if you agree with this, but I just like the companies that like really try to be part of the community they serve. I like that, whether that's through media, whether it's through, low-hanging contests, or it's like even larger. Framer constantly does stuff like this. They're matching revenue. And is that stuff the kind of thing that moves the needle? Not necessarily, I don't think. But at the same time, this kind of goes with the same thing. I want to know who's behind it. I want to know, like, how are you making yourself different in this market right now? If it's my D&D app, if it's a glorified Spotify scene builder, we would have to do more than just be like, we'd have to support the creator ecosystem of D&D creators who make music and art, right? And I think tools like Framer do that. I think when you look at Contra's a great example. Contra's about to roll out, this is a thing. So Contra's rolling out their social network next week. And their whole thing is like, you should be able to share your work. Ben, who I had on the pod, talks about like he thinks a lot of creative work is going to go towards the Hollywood model, where you just go grab people for a project and then you kind of move on, and then you might work together again, you might not, but each person's kind of running their own thing. A lot of freelance work, I guess. And that's how I've been operating. Everyone I've brought on has been per project, and it's been cool people, and it's like we come together, then we leave. And then actually going towards the film set model, that's exactly how that works. And so for me, I look at Contra releasing their social network, people sharing projects. I look at the way you've essentially taught me to hire on Twitter as like, hey, we're hiring for a thing, just show some work real quick. I like that a lot. And I'm pausing on telling other designers, hey, you should go do that. But I think I believe that now, that you should be sharing your work like this. You should be hiring very quickly, 30-day contracts. Like, you learn about someone by working through them. And if it doesn't work out, then cool, 30 days gone, you got a little bit of work and you move on.
Yep.
How do you think about hiring, and where are you finding people today?
I mean, we find everyone through, I would say that for me right now, Twitter is probably the greatest signal.
Yeah.
Because we'll post something, and then the very first thing that we're doing is we're looking for like, who else follows this person, right? Or who else will vouch for this person. And then we're testing their work out and kind of going from there. I'm not necessarily bullish on this Contra thing, because I don't think that there's going to be a network effect.
You don't think this will create any sort of network effect of work sharing?
Probably not. No, not a true network effect. Do I think this will be positive for creatives? Yes. But I don't think it's not something that I would ever look to go to and hire. Because I also like, we pay one person through Contra, and it's probably, I don't know. I just don't want to pay the fees. Frankly, like, I'd rather just like send them a wire transfer and not pay any fees.
Right.
So that's just my personal take, but I love what Contra's doing.
They're definitely on the freelancer focus, right? Like the fees not being paid to the freelancer, Company paying the fees.
Company paying the fees. Yeah. As the company, I don't want to pay the fees.
Right.
I want to take advantage of my Mercury free wire transfers. Yeah.
Tommy, how would you go about the ROI thing with regards to media? I mean, listen, like it's what I don't want to do, and the clear opportunity, like the fail safe here. There's a couple fail safes I have, which is essentially just scaling down the team. But the other fail safes is like, how does this pivot into stuff? Well, I could probably start some sort of studio and make a bunch of trips out to SF and just build hype videos for companies. I don't fucking want to do that. That's not the goal. I'm not trying to get back into service-based work, right? But the other side of it is what I've noticed as we were putting together these videos of how teams and people work. A lot of companies are really interested in investing into recruiting culture initiatives, things that like are like, hey, you probably want to work here. I'm hearing more and more that this is a problem for larger companies, and they want to show this stuff off. I'm not in the business of going out there and making commercials for companies, but there is an interesting. It's like, do we open up? Say we have 7 episodes per season, and we've got all this other media stuff going on too. But the regarding the actual show. Maybe one of those is a paid for, and the mid roll is more integrative than just like an ad read. It's like moments from their episode, and then we drop you in their episode, and then we talk about them again in the other episodes in some way that makes a lot of that feels seamless. And so like that's an interesting. So I mean, the truth is, I'm in advertising. Like that is my business. I am in advertising, and a big part of how you make media like this is through good partnerships. And if I have it my way, it's 3 to 4 partners paying, $250,000 contracts a year. And I'm working on additional things that are essentially just big swings. Like I want to lull in that moment while taking big swings that could potentially spiral off. Right.
He was
Being facetious.
something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, I mean, I think that you're going to be able to do really interesting stuff in the media side, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird to see everything change in real time, but also it stays the same. You know what I mean?
I leave to soon to Washington, to Seattle with my oldest to check out some schools and to do a little trip. And it's like, man, I'm shooting in the dark. I'm like, here's, I don't know. Yeah, go learn some stuff, man. Build. Like, just we're looking into homeschooling for our youngest, for our daughter.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I realize now, like, I don't think the education system out here is fucking.
No.
This is so dated, dude. This is not the way.
Yeah. Dude, can we talk about something really important for 1 second?
Yeah.
Have you seen One Battle After Another yet?
No, but I have heard some pretty great things.
It's so good, dude.
It's one of those things where I'm like, all the goddamn hype, dude. But listen,
it's Paul Thomas Anderson. It's worth every bit of the hype.
There Will Be Blood is like one of my favorite movies. So
it's right under There Will Be Blood for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it's his second best movie.
Yeah, that's one I need to do. Well, and it's a 3-hour movie, and now we've got the little one, so it's like, okay, I got to figure out. I forget these logistics things with having a baby, like
babysitters, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, dude, this was a good reunion episode, man. I'm glad that we dusted off ourselves and we're ready to do it. What are we gonna do next week? Like that's the thing. What do the people want? People, what do you? We got our diehards in here. What do you guys want from us on a week-to-week basis? You want us to bring back guests? You want us to keep our news segments going?
I don't want to do guests, man.
I don't either.
I don't mind it. Like, listen, there's TBPN. TBPN exists.
Yes.
You know what I like, man, is this is what I like. You and I are we are not a common folk. We are the type who just like serial build. We do a lot of things. We run businesses, and we're like hands in the dirt. And it's just interesting that there's 2 of us in the same room talking about it. And so I feel like a lot of people who listen dabble in areas that we're both in.
For sure.
I feel like we need a little more. Like when we tried this, I want to build more in public with you and like teach each other some stuff. Now the question is like, how do we? There's time and stuff like that, but there's something there. Having both of us in the same room, I think, is an interesting formula by itself.
I don't. So let me tell you this.
You want them to fuck the guests?
What the fuck? What kind of like timestamp delay is this guy on? I don't know what timestamp delay this guy's on. Do you want them to fuck the guests? Well, Jacob, listen.
OnlyFans
Depends on the price. I personally do not want to go back to the format of like interviewing people because
I'm already going to be doing it with the state of play stuff, you know?
Yeah. I am, however, very interested in having some guests come on if they can teach us something.
That's cool. I like that a lot.
Like for one of our favorites, Pietro. I don't want Pietro to come on and show me Magic Path. I want Pietro to come on and show me how to do interesting things with Magic Path, or even some of their own workflows of how they build certain features in Magic Path.
I want to like, that's really what I want to see is like, okay, yeah, I get that they're going to want to show us the thing they're trying to make money with. I want to know how you're building that fucking thing, dude. You know?
Yeah. Or like, like Paper. Okay. I don't want you to show me the features that Paper has. I want you to show me the like super pro workflows inside of Paper that people can take advantage of that are going to make my life better.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Okay. I don't want you to show me Figma Make. I want you to show me how you made Figma Make. Yeah. Let's give the people what they need, which is the juice.
And before we get out of here, so what are you doing with Today in Design? You just holding on to that right there?
I just told you what I'm doing with it, basically.
I mean,
read between the lines.
Well, okay, all right.
Yeah, I we're bringing it back, but I don't want to call it Today in Design, but I also just like don't have the energy to rebrand it right now.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm at. So I'm gonna call it Today in Design for a little bit, but it's gonna not feel like Today in Design. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna feel like I wanna turn the whole thing into basically like what we just said, which is like, yeah, let's cover some of the latest and greatest tools, but like fuck advertising that, hey, here's this new tool. It's like, let's evaluate it based on like, does this tool do this one thing better than anybody else? Or like, what are the pro workflows? Like, how do we do this?
I would call it your Theo arc.
Yeah, kind of. It's like if factory announces droids, I don't give a fuck about like 40 million free tokens. I want you to show me like there's nothing you can find right now other than like a shitty YouTube video or two on like, okay, cool, but like why would I use droid?
Right.
Like why would I use it? Like what are the agents I should be creating? How does this make my life better? Actually, that's what I want to do.
Actually, dude, there's something in that. And what's in that is the amount of hype happening out there. And maybe I contribute a little bit of this because my business runs on hyping up partners.
Yeah, it's unsubstantiated hype.
It's unsubstantiated hype. And so it's like there's really not a good, even just from like an MKBHD perspective, like let's be like an actual objective eye. Is this useful?
Yes.
Now? And we don't have enough of that. And it's hard to figure that out. I think there's something there. So we'll talk about it.
That would be sick, dude. Yeah, I want MKBHD quality level reviews of the latest and greatest in AI. But not AI though. Like Every does a good job with that, right? But like Every is not for builders, to me. Every is like for people that are just like looking for general news of AI.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want that. I want you to take me under the hood and like, you know what I fucking want, dude? I'll tell you this. I want a weekly segment that's like, these are the best MCPs. like, you know what I mean? Like tear them apart. What's good? What's bad? Why? Which one should I be using? You know what I mean?
Like a Linus Tech Tips lab where you're just fucking experimenting with things.
That'd be kind of sick. Yeah.
That would be super cool, man.
That'd be sick.
Well, and it's funny, dude, because there's like another angle on this, which is what I want this YouTube channel to turn into over time, is to have a couple shows, but the core of it is a couple of builder types. So I've talked to Will King, I've talked to a couple people, and I'm like, hey man, you have a designer, you have like a really sick motion editor, you have a really dope engineer, who just come together, and it's almost like corridor crew or corridor, like the guys, the VFX artists who kind of come together. And it's like our episode, it's like we just fucking, this episode, we're gonna just build a thing and make a hype video for it, and just like, not even to make it, it's not to like make these apps successful, it's to learn about the tech that we use to do it, and as like a comical thing, like to go and see how the market responds when we build fucking Airbnb for ants in a dither visual, and we make like a Cluely hype video for it. And it's like that seems like you follow that process of us just doing this, and that sounds like a lot, but it's not, because we're just using a bunch of AI to have fun. That would be a fun thing to show. Like, and here's what we learned when we did it. Your face says you don't like that idea.
I am thinking about that idea because I think I love it. I'm really, I don't know why, but you saying Airbnb for ants just sent me on such a trip. Have you ever read The Meaning of Human Existence by Edward O. Wilson?
I have not.
Dude, it's so good. It's
Okay,
listen.
Connect this for me.
Yes. So let's see. It might be at my house. It's in my library at home. So The Meaning of Human Existence, Edward O. Wilson. Basically, he dives deep into like, why do humans exist? Like, what is our purpose? And the majority of the book, he's likening it to the social constructs that ants have. So like a colony of ants is actually extremely intelligent, extremely social. They look out for one another. Like they have entire processes for like, how do they handle their dead, for example? Like it's fucking fascinating. So he's drawing this connection between like, we think we're like these conscious, like, you know, super beings here on planet Earth, but then like, look at the tiny little lowly ants, right? And how advanced they are, and like just programmed into them are all of these, same social constructs that we as humans follow. Anyways, it'll make you think. But dude, yes, the fact that you said Airbnb for ants for some reason just sent me to that book, and I was like, you know what? We're gonna do an episode just on that book.
Well, that's why I created Internet Enjoyers. Like that's supposed to eventually be the brand for builders hanging out, and just like, we fucking love building on the internet, and here are the tools and the things and this and that, right?
Yeah. I feel it.
I missed you, Hunter. Got to talk more,
dude. I know, we got to do it back and back. So next week we're gonna watch A Bug's Life, and we're gonna read The Meaning of Human Existence. I'm gonna pick up the Stormlight Archive, which was on my list, Devin. Any Will of the Mini fans here? There got any Will of the Mini? Because the new book's coming out next month. The Strength of the Few. Nobody? Nothing? All right. Cool. Whatever.
Right. This is our lowest turnout in the history of life.
No, the counter you're seeing is only YouTube, and it's live. Whereas the counter used to be the cumulative across channels.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I see the numbers now.
Yeah. So like a little less than 1,000. So yeah, lower, but yeah.
Got it. Cool, man. Well, I think, are we 11 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Central now? Is that
no? Let's do noon. Let's stick with noon Central. Okay. Today I couldn't because they're doing construction and it was really loud. So let's stick with 12 p.m. on Fridays. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back. We will be back next Friday, I think, at noon.
We will be
Central.
back. Well, we will be back. The timing is the, I think.
Yeah, I think.
And hell yeah, dude. You know what I realized? These live streams force me to make progress on things.
So you can talk about it.
So I can talk about them. And it's kind of a nice little thing. So
yeah, I was like, do I want to do release notes? And then I was like, man, I haven't been on social. So this is a forcing function.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
Cool.
Yep. All right, man. I'll see you.